Alright, welcome back to another episode of StichMethod. Today we're going to talk about a very, very simple observation that's going to make your guitar solos beam with confidence. Before we begin, make sure you share and subscribe. Now, let's get down to it. My favorite guitar gods, I hear this 7 out of 10 times, and the more you listen to your favorite guitar solos, you're going to hear this. And it's such an easy thing to do when you're improvising or writing a guitar solo to make your confidence level be a lot more than where it is. I have a lot of students who ask me the question, or talk about how they get lost during a solo, or they don't know where to go, they just kind of like run out of steam, and we want to prevent that. So if that happens to you, or if you want to learn how to end your guitar solos properly, that's what this video is for. So let's get down to it. When you're soloing, we have a takeoff. Boom, we take off, and then we get to cruising altitude, and all of a sudden, if we don't see the landing strip, we're gonna panic. And so today is about, a flight is only as good as the landing, right? And so a guitar solo, it's not that it's only as good as the landing, but my gosh, if you can land a guitar solo, it's awesome. So how do we do that? Well, very, very simple. I have an E to A backing track, very simple. Like that over and over again, very reminiscent of Blue Sky, but it could be anything. And I'm going to take a solo with a major pentatonic and a minor pentatonic to show you that this happens. You can do this with both scales. All right, so let me show you an example of what I mean, like when you take off and you get to cruising altitude and you don't know how to land. And if this kind of sounds like you, then keep watching. Here we go. Right, okay, so I can keep going, but you can see it's just like, okay, well, how do we land this thing? And here's a simple trick, all right, which is whatever rhythm you're soloing with, wherever you are in rhythm land, say you're playing quarter notes or eighth notes, or you're just kind of flowing, you have to really do a rhythm that is different from where you are. What do I mean? Well, if I'm soloing with eighth notes, you want to try and put some 16th notes in, and when the 16th notes occur, that's going to be your ending. Now, it takes a little, I'll show you, it takes a little bit of like listening. You want to, try to end on a root note, and you want to listen, and it takes a little of practice, and here's your E major pentatonic, right? Here's a root note, and so I'm going to end on this root note. And so now listen for how I'm going to change the rhythm up right at the ending. And once you do, it's like the ending of a perfect solo. Here we go. Alright, so you see right there, I just put in this kind of triplet, and that little kind of ending right there, or that triplet feel, is a different rhythm, and it signals your ending. Let me do it again. Let me do it where I'm playing kind of like fast, and now if I'm playing fast, I can slow it down to quarter notes. When I slow it down to quarter notes, it signals an ending to the listener, also to you, and you want to land on the root note. How about we choose this root note here? Alright, so let's see if we can do it here. Alright, so you can see right there. Now I slowed the rhythm down compared to my fast soloing, and I ended on a root note. Again, you're going to have to listen, you're going to have to buy your time, you're going to have to learn how to do this on your own, but if you want to practice this stuff with me, you can see me on Patreon where my practice sessions are going to be about doing this. And so hopefully you understand, all right? It's very, very simple. Think about the ending of Stairway to Heaven, right? That little like, that's what I'm talking about. It's a solo that has some climbing kind of eighth notes, goes into some 16th notes. And so It is really the simplest kind of idea, and I don't know how obvious it is to us, but hopefully you're going, oh my gosh, really? And so what I'm going to do now is take the same chord progression, and I'm going to play a minor pentatonic. I'm not going to play anything crazy, but the first thing I'll do is distortion, because, you know, every minor pentatonic deserves some distortion. And I'm going to do a never-ending guitar solo with the minor pentatonic. Here we go. Right, you get the idea, you know, just kind of playing up and down, you know. And I'm trying to sound mediocre. And so now let's take the same idea. I tend to play a little bit faster with the minor pentatonic, and so I'm going to play fast, and I'm going to end with some slow quarter notes. And you want to try and end on the root note. One thing I totally forgot to mention, and I should edit the whole entire video, but I'm not, is in the major pentatonic, it's always nice, you know, you have a root note, and nice endings, I always feel like, I'm talking about major for a second, is when you play the root note, but you bend up from the major second. That's always a nice ending. Getting the 2 bent up to the major third, and then 1. All right. What I was gonna say is good endings in the minor pentatonic. You know, you find your 1s, and a great ending is any sort of like 4 bent to the 5, back to the 1. Up here's a root note here. You might see it. Just in case I do it, I want to explain what I'm doing. So that's like the nail, you know, in the ending, but you kind of want to put the ending cap on. And so here's a solo, and I'm going to play a little bit faster and try and slow it down. Let's see what we can get out of it. Let's see. So there it was, all right? Just kind of compared to the rambling that I was doing. And it really, I can't stress this enough. It's that simple. If you're playing fast in the solo, when you want to end, hit the brakes, slow the line down, all right? Just pick less, you know? If you're playing slow, then speed it up with some triplets or faster moves. And so I'll take one more solo. I'll show you, you know, I have a minor pentatonic here, and I'll show you, like, here I'm going to put in some fast arpeggios. Here's an E major arpeggio, and here's an A major arpeggio. And so you can use arpeggios to speed things up. If you're interested in arpeggios, check out my 2-hour free Cage Masterclass that explains all that stuff. All right, and so let's see if I can play slow and get into some fast arpeggios. Right, so there it is. It's just the rhythm perspective. You don't have to, like, worry about necessarily, you know, climbing through this tension and release interval melodic maze if you're not comfortable with it. I talk about that on my channel all the time. You know, a lot of my favorite guitar players are really good at, like, you know, getting to these really cool notes that build tension. And, you know, if you're not comfortable doing that and you're a strong pentatonic player and you like pentatonics and you just want to stick with that, it's just the rhythm cap at the end. If you're going fast, go slow. If you're going slow, go fast. This is one of my, like, the easiest videos that I presented on StichMethod, but I firmly believe it has a huge impact. So you let me know, all right? And again, if you want to practice this stuff with me and, you know, get your solos going, check me out on Patreon. I'll stop talking. Thank you for being here. Rock and roll. Bye-bye.